Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we're here at the Cameras Los Angeles showroom in West Hollywood, and I'm here with Sian Taylor Gowan with her feature film Surviving International Boulevard. Let's take a look at a clip.
Coming out here, I learned so much. Me and my sister, we stood out here, talked to the girls, and one of them, I showed her a picture of my daughter, and she told me, she said, she's so pretty and she looks so innocent, but she doesn't look like this anymore. And as we're sitting here, I'm seeing this young lady out here. She reminds me so much of my daughter.
Sian, congratulations on your film, and thank you very much for sharing your story with us. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your documentary.
Right, it's about domestic child sex trafficking, and the story is about two women who are in Oakland, and one is a mother who's searching for her 15-year-old daughter on the streets, and the daughter has decided that her boyfriend, she thinks it's her boyfriend has pimped her out, and her experience on the street is intense. She runs away from home, and her mother comes out and constantly looking for her. And the other story is about Sarai Theolinda Smith Mazarigos, who is a child advocate and also a survivor of exploitation. And she shares her export advice as well as her personal story in the film.
Honestly, it's one of the most powerful documentaries and important documentaries I've ever seen at NewFilmmakers LA. And you know, obviously this is existing, it's happening. Where did your inspiration come from to making this film?
Yeah, I actually started thinking I was making a feature and thinking that I was going to make 3 shorts and stitch them together about people in the Bay Area being trafficked in the Bay Area. So making the point that it is a domestic issue, that it's a local issue. And once I discovered that it was about children being sex trafficked, there really isn't any time for anything else. And I wanted to get it out quick, so I wanted to do a short. And I wanted it to be in the format of activist events, as well as being able to be seen in wonderful theaters, such as what we did last night at NewFilmmakers LA. But it's important to not just see the film, also be aware, but then also get involved.
I think it's the fact that this is not some faraway land, that's sort of a place where we feel like there's corruption. This is actually on our doorstep. How do you, because I mean, obviously you directed it and produced it and all the other things you have to do for independent filmmaking. How do you go about the research to kind of find in the mothers of the traffic? How's that process for you, and how do you approach that with such a sensitive subject as well?
Well, with sensitivity, right back at them, it is very sensitive, and you need a lot of compassion and patience. And so from the beginning of researching it until the very end, when we actually premiered to the industry at the Short Film Corner of Cannes, it took 2 years. So, and the reason for that is that I wanted to give the people who said, yes, I want to be in your film, a bit of time to think about it. Because if they change their mind, then I'm stuck with a situation where I have to feel bad about this or that, or I have to move forward in a different direction. And so I wanted to give them time. And you have to let the world move in front of you. You're not scripting this. This is their life. They're gifting it, not to me, but to everyone, so that we can be aware, so that we can all make a difference. And so you as a director and producer of something that is a social cause, you are somebody who's basically the amplifier, the conduit between the story and the audience, and then making change.
Obviously you have to have the essence of trust as well. Between the filmmaker yourself and the people that were involved with it. And I was like, I could trust you with any story. You just seem to be got a very competent feeling as a filmmaker. You really did the movie, literally Surviving the International Boulevard, is you go right there. You go right to the actual place. Obviously your background is you make social cause documentaries and amongst of many other great things. But what is it like for you as a filmmaker having to actually go with those mothers to the area of where their children experienced it? What kind of things do you have to work with as a filmmaker to support the people that are actually in it, and what was that experience like for you?
I set it up so it was clear what we were doing that night, and that there was absolutely no expectation on the mother to give or not give anything in particular. We didn't have a talk about it before, like, we're going to do it this way or that way. I really trusted that she wanted to give her story. And it was more about our relationship and, as you said, the trust to that degree anyway, that we had built up. And it was less about pre-scripting what she would say and what she wouldn't. So, but yeah, being on the street that night and seeing that little girl on the corner, and we have, 3 guys with us and the lady, the mother, and we had to drive away, and there was the little girl on the corner. And the truth is, though, that you can't just walk up to somebody on the corner, regardless of how young they are, how much they are clearly vulnerable and they're a victim. If you do, you could end up with a pimp who's watching, or a bottom girl. It's called somebody that's one of the girls that works for the pimp who's looking at all the other girls, making sure they're in line. And if you do go up and try to interact, intervene, you could get this poor little girl in a lot of trouble that evening. Violence.
Again, filmmaking is such a powerful way to show this story and tell and show people what is going on in our world, in our societies, in our communities. I just want to say I'm full of praise for you, because the fact that you decided to have a career, bringing social justice and through film. Where did that come from you? Where did you want to suddenly, with social changes, where did you kind of want to say, I want to be a filmmaker, to be able to give a platform to this?
Well, partially because I just felt like I could,
I love it, isn't it? Because you can, exactly.
Because I can, yeah. And my education is in broadcast communication arts as a bachelor's and human rights education as a master's, so education-wise it goes well. And then I've also worked in advertising and nonprofit outreach, so those also go well together. But it was the time in my life that I felt I could do this, and I have the time and energy, and so.
And you live in the beautiful San Francisco. We're all jealous. But no, it's really great when you can share this with a new audience, and their awareness can be broadened as well. What would you say was? Because obviously, I'm sure there were challenges, even though you made it look pretty easy and well fit together. But what was kind of the biggest challenge for you in making this?
Well, the challenge is on something like this, when you're dealing with people's lives and it's relevant to their trauma, it's never over. They're always, whenever they give their story, there's that risk of re-traumatizing somebody. And so I like to say, when people see the film, take a moment to the audience. I tell them, please take a moment and realize that you're getting a gift here, and that she's giving you her story so that you will act, you will do something. Even if you just talk about it at dinner tonight with your kids or anything at all, give funds. However, we'd rather have you give funds to homeless shelters and get involved in a more active way. But even if you just talk about it, or look at some more films that are about the same subject. And
I love that you said that, because I think we take it for granted sometimes that, like you just said, it's people's stories, their personal stories that they're sharing with us to hopefully make a better world for all of us. You've gone. It's a very difficult thing, and we're so grateful that you share this with us to educate us and help us learn and help us fight with you. What's it like when you get we have your film with NewFilmmakers LA, particularly the month that celebrates Women's Independence Month, female filmmakers, women in film, Alliance of Women Directors. What is it like to have your film selected and then have an audience being able to watch the story that you work so hard to make?
Yeah, well, I feel like I didn't just make this film, everybody did. The people who were featured in the film and the people who were behind the scenes. And so I'm happy for all of us, really I am, and I hope they feel that way too. I wish more people could have come down from San Francisco. But yeah, I mean, it's a great feeling to look down and see so many people watching your film and appreciating it, and to have that celebration of women together making this happen. So, and the film is all about women. I mean,
well, only women could tell this story, because it's you know, it's the premise of this film is about that, and I think it's truly great. The experience of the screening that we had, you know, I've never seen so many people just stop and wanting to talk to someone about what they just witnessed and what they'd seen. And many people had said that about your story, how much it sat with them, and whether they were going to come and support your fight or their own fights, it made them want to fight for, you know, for the things that are going on in the world. And I think that's such a powerful thing as a documentary filmmaker, which you've encourage people to do. Obviously, you do mention a few organizations in there as well. If people do want to help and support, where can they go to help find out, to support them?
Yeah, well, we have a page on our film website, which makes it easy, which is survivinginternationalboulevard.com, and then the page is called Choose to Help.
Right.
And it's a resource page, and it shows you SHADE, which is the organization that Sarai in the film has founded and operates. It stands for Survivors Healing, Advising, and Dedicated to Empowerment, and it's for survivor leaders. And basically she works with other survivors, or she's intervening so that they can move into survivorship, and helping them to become leaders in their own lives, as well as potentially leaders in the movement if they so choose. So SHADE would be one of the ones to go to.
Fantastic,
And just one other one to say, is Missy, with the 3 S's, and they help to also empower kids, and they work in many different ways to be advocates for kids in Oakland.
And she was a wonderful person who started that company as well that was in the film, and you know, we're very thankful. It's definitely a story that had to be told and made us realize, and hopefully is brought more people in to support and encourage and you know, and lead with what's going on in the world with this particular subject. What is next for you as a filmmaker?
I'm actually working as a co-producer on Home Yet Far Away, searching for the feminine in Iran and the US. And it's Sabre Kashi, she's the filmmaker from Iran, and it's about her experience going back and forth between the Bay Area and Tehran, and how her personal story unfolds. And she feels connected to her feminine side or her masculine side in different ways when she's in the culture of Iran or she's in the culture of the Bay Area. And so it's an interesting exploration, not only to watch her story, but to also reflect on our own. Because it's relevant to all of us. It's relevant to all of us.
I think that's so great that you bring relevance to all of us in your storytelling. And you know, thank you so much. That I think the fact you know, dedicated your life through filmmaking to support, you know, social changes and influences is so we're so thankful for that. So we look forward to seeing much more of your work and your journey. So thank you very much.